Good evening, all of you. As the saying goes, the first impression is the best impression. And when it comes to IELTS examination or any of the Cambridge examinations like O level, in the speaking section of the O level, or any other Cambridge examination, the speaking examination, self introduction is very, very important. And of course, that comes in the beginning of the test. And that's why I said the first impression is the best impression. Okay. Now, to create a strong impression is very important for, I think, that is more vital for people, for candidates who are facing an interview, especially in a professional setting. So, in case if they are able to create an impression through their self introductory session, irrespective of their qualifications and experience, they are placed at an advantage. So, we must know very well as what are the essential ingredients to be placed in the self introductory session. So today we'll be discussing about only the ingredients, not the way. Okay. So in the introductory session, that is a self introduction, first point to remember is it must be concise, it must be brief, to the point. And first comes, of course, after exchanging the pleasantries, your name comes first, right? And the name, of course, you must say the full name, the complete name. Even in the IELTS examination, they specify that. Okay? Your complete name as it appears in your certificate. That is very important. Even when you go for job opportunities in an interview section, this should be kept in mind. Now, when it comes to professional context, of course, the interview, you must have gone through several rounds, right? Telephonic rounds, shortlisting, and finally you land up in the interview. Mostly it happens like that. So the interviewer must always or must be having an idea about you. He must be having your resume in hand, maybe even instilled in his brain, according to the person, right? So then you must be wondering, what should I tell him now? He knows everything, everything is handy. But still, he just want to hear from you as what your accomplishments are. Why do you think this must happen? Of course, this must happen because he's just testing your confidence. Are you able to highlight? Are you able to express this, your accomplishments in a better way? So that makes all the difference, as I told you before. It's not your qualification, it's not your experience that matters. What matters in almost all the fields, especially right now, is how you are able to present it before others. Right? Now, as I told you, first comes the name, and you are supposed to say it in complete name as it appears in your certificate. Okay. Now, the next one, when it comes to your qualifications, right? Your details. When it comes to your details regarding your background, of course, where you learned, your educational institution, maybe you can name, and the place where you were raised, that also can be named. So where you were born and raised. Okay, these two aspects can be covered in your details. And then about qualifications. Okay, all your academic details will appear in your resume, right? So you need not go into deeper into it if you are a professional candidate, but you can highlight things that would really help you to bag this job. For instance, like you can give up, you can mention the place where in your career you feel like, that you have served for a longer tenure. And you can even mention the utmost challenges that you have taken up in meeting deadlines. All this will really bring you to a brighter side for the job. Okay, so that means when it comes to when it comes to giving coming to the qualifications and work experience, you know, be succinct when you talk about your career graph. It's very very important, because you have to mention only the much required experience that you feel like would put you in a position to acquire this job. I think I'm very clear about it. Correct. Now, regarding the qualification, when you say, I said you need not mention about all the years and universities and all that is unnecessary, because already it is there in your resume. But, you know, and never go to the utmost level of making a false impression by saying something that you have not achieved. For example, in math, your percentile must have been something in around 60s. Don't mention it as 98 or 96 to get an impression, because that is all fake, right? And that you are creating a false impression. All genuine, I mean, your certificates are there in his, I mean, the hands of the interviewer. So what is the use of creating that kind of a false impression for just a second? So don't go for that. Now, confidence is very important. Whatever you say that in confidence, and remember that your whatever as I told you, this interview will not last for long. It's only for around 10 minutes, not more than that. So within that 10 minutes you must make sure that your position is safe there, if you want to I mean acquire that position. Okay, so that is in your hands. So what you highlight and what you I mean create an impression depends on that. Now, regarding the outside interest, they may check you about the hobbies and your interests. Now, in IELTS, for IELTS students, they're checking about your hobbies and interests, not to know you. Of course, it's not to know you. They are asking it for a different purpose. They just want to know whether you are able to fluently express your ideas about your, means when you're talking about swimming, how do you do it, how often do you, with whom do you do it. So is your communicative skill appropriate? That's all. That's the only thing that they're checking. But when it comes to a professional battleground, I would say like that, it's not that. When you say that you devote your time for cooking, for gardening, of course they are analyzing your personality. They come to know that, okay, this person is very patient. Okay, and in case if you say that I'm interested in sport, I'm interested in different hiking, that those all adventurous sport activities, so then they will land up in an impression like, okay, this is the right person to take up challenges. He's not the one to escape from challenges. Okay, so that personality analysis is being done when they ask you about the interests. So in that time, please don't say that my great interest is to watch, movies in the mobile phone, or watching movies is okay, but not watching movies in the mobile phone, or playing games, mobile video games, that all may not place you in a, good position. Okay, so think before you say. Now, your values are also being tested, like where do you live? What about your family members? And you say like, oh, no, I don't have any relationship with them. Then, of course, your values also will be checked. There must be so many reasons when you say that, right? Only we know what are the reasons. But when you create an impression, make sure that you don't give a wrong impression, because he is not going to give you, if you say that I'm not staying with your family members, he's not going to ask you the reason and all. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him. Understood? But at the same time, that will place you in a bad side. So make sure that you don't highlight things which are irrelevant or which will create a negative impression. About your future plans. When you talk about your future plans, it is very important to reassure the recruiter that you are looking for a long-term career. It's not a short term, okay, I'll work with you for 2 months, then I'll get an experience certificate, I'll go somewhere else. That shouldn't be your attitude. And no recruiter will entertain that. So always try to create that assurance in him that you are going to serve him for a long term, whatever the matter may be. Okay, and talk about your career ambitions, your goals you wish to achieve in the next 5 years. So here you can that, and you can tell him that that is the reason why that they are these reasons are the I mean these factors are the major reasons for driving me into this particular firm. So you have reasons also why are you looking up for a position in this particular firm. Okay, so this is very important. Say, similarly, if you are going to apply for a job, for a profession where you are not, I mean, your qualifications do not suit, then of course you will should have a reason for that. That will be the first question that they will be passing to you. There are certain, I mean, in the present scenario, I know so many students, they do degree in one subject, and maybe they may take up some other major in their masters. So there will be a clash, right? Maybe you are doing electrical engineering and you are taking up MBA. So there is a difference, right? So you should have an answer for that. Why did you give up this? Oh, after having done your BTech in electrical engineering, why did you take up an MBA course for your masters? So okay, be ready with those kind of answers. Be ready. You shouldn't be like blank then. Oh, I thought I will time pass. See, your answers must be very accurate, very specific. It must be, you must be able to justify your stand in that. That is very important, because whatever you say, you are accountable for that. As I told you, it will not last more than 10 to 15 minutes. Within that, that is the only time when you have allotted for the time, that time is allotted for you to convey your heart to the interviewer. So please, that impression can be created only within the time limit. Soon after you move out of the place, they are ready to make a judgment about you. So always think that. And now in my, thank you for listening all of you, and in my next video I'll be just very particularly telling you as how to introduce, that is, we'll frame sentences. Now I just told you only about the ingredients, what should be included and why it should be included, right? Now in the second next video I'll be we'll discuss and frame sentences as what to say. Okay, now hope you enjoyed video. Keep watching. Thank you.